Achieving these require me to put in extra effort and make significant sacrifices, including the time with my son. My advice is to not to believe what people say, but believe in yourself. And instead, and taking into account your own desires and interests. Good afternoon, everybody. What an amazing section. We have gone all these extraordinary female leaders in some of the most socially important industries, but so underparticipated by our fellow female counterparts. But today I'm going to take you through my own journey, through my life in the finance industry. It's been a very fulfilling and thrilling journey. There's one through asset management, ambitions, and pursuit of dreams. How did I start my career in finance? I'm not sure about this. It will take it back to the 1990s when I took my first steps into the heart of City of London, London's financial district. I was by joining a Japanese investment bank as my first employer. And at the time, I had a dream to become But what really fueled my passion for finance, we have to go back to the late 80s in China. We are talking about, in those days, obtaining a small piece of fish will mean getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and queuing for hours. So these struggles are etched in my memory and make me want to one day to study and go to Japan and help China's economic development. So my mother sent me to Japan, and I chose economics. And with the dream to return one day to China to become the governor of China's central bank. Yes, you did hear me that. And I was also very honest about this audacious goal at the interviews in London. As you would imagine, that has invited a lot of laughter and skepticism and moments of coffee spell out. But I persevered. And then I used my life experience in Asia and became Asia specialist asset manager. That journey has become a very full of exciting opportunities, and including I was one of the first female fund managers in Australia, and I also set up one of the first Asia dedicated hedge funds back in 2008 at the height of the global financial crisis. But the first time I really felt acknowledged was when I was featured in the Money magazine by Sydney Morning Herald in Australia in 2006. I was ranked one of the first female fund managers, but most interestingly and most noteworthy was the article talking about comparing the performance and investment approach between female and male fund managers. They quoted a study done in 2001 by two professors from the University of California. And they found out, they did a research on 35,000 households doing share trades. And they found out female investors, they tend to be more risk-averse. And they also, they found out data has proved that they were less male players in the stock market. Their overconfidence led to more mistakes. And the female players, they tend to be selling their losing positions quicker, and also taking profits from their winning positions quicker as well. And another research done by Merrill Lynch back in 2005 at the time, quoted by the newspaper, by the magazine, it showed that the similar results, that the female investors, and this is based on a research of 1,000 investors, and they also show that female tend to less likely to make mistakes than male. So this analysis has shown that female can bring all these unique talents, expertise to asset management. And it also shows the contributions that we can bring to the industry. So this recognition was not just a professional acknowledgement, but a personal triumph for myself as a fund manager. Through a career as a fund manager, performance has always been the key feature. The Japan fund I managed between 2000 and 2008 was ranked one of the only 4 Japan dedicated funds globally by Russell Global, so one of the largest global asset consultants at the time. It was acknowledgement for the expertise and skills I have brought to deliver a 5% per annum outperformance for over 8 years. In 2008, at the height of global financial crisis, I set up a Pan-Asia Equity Long-Short Fund in Australia, and it generated a very strong positive returns, while many of our peers has delivered very substantial losses. And it was one of the first Pan-Asia Equity Long-Short funds in Australia at the time. However, my proudest moment, I would have to say, is today, that I have this opportunity to stand here to share my experiences and to work with you how to encourage more young women to join the finance industry. When I look back over my career, and I have the many challenges I have faced, unfortunately, I have realized that it's still fundamental facing many young women today in their journey. As a woman, there's often a perception of maternal instinct that traditionally there has been associated with our role of bearing children, caring for them, and managing our family. Many young women at some point have to face a very important decision, whether to pursue our ambitions or to give up and prioritize the care of our children. My perspective is that it doesn't have to be either or choice. Historically, society and government policies didn't offer enough support for women seeking to balance their lives and their career. Childcare facilities were not available widely, and during our job interviews, potential employers always question how long would women stay in their jobs. And that led to the situation where, because of the lack of social support, many women felt compelled to leave their jobs and after having children. In such scenario, many employers frequently favored male candidates. And in Asia, there is an additional challenge related to social acceptance of women continuing to work while raising our children. During my time in Sydney, I found myself very unpopular, being one of the very few working mothers. And I ran after work every day. I ran to pick up my son from school, and I felt I wasn't really appreciated by other mothers. And sometimes when I was late, and these feelings exacerbated because the teachers had to stay behind for me. So in Asia, this additional challenge related to social acceptance we need to address. In the West, it is more increasingly acceptable to have a man staying at home and look after the children. Paternity leave is very flexible. But in Asia, it is to be a house husband, it is considered a failure. So these social issues and to help a woman to balance life and career, it is very important. And the finance industry has a great potential to undergo transformation and adapt in order to attract more women. It's imperative that the narrative around women in finance be reshaped and the advantage of diversity actively promoted. We can envision a finance sector that not only welcomes women, but also champions flexible working arrangements, enabling a harmonious balance between professional and family life. Despite wide recognition of the need to encourage more female fund managers in the industry, the result is very disappointing. According to Morningstar, which is a fund manager, a fund search consultant, as of 2020, there is only 14% of 25,000 fund managers were women. And this is unchanged since 2000. So there's a lot more that needs to be done. I believe in the East and in the West, we all need to recognize the contribution and value women can bring to the workforce, demonstrates the benefit in the workforce and change society's view of working mothers. The initial step in Asia involves the acceptance of the wealth and expertise that women can contribute not only to society, but to the economy. And marking this essential, I linken this to an equation, 1 + 1 = 3. Yes, this is from a fund manager who's proud to be very good at mathematics. And this because the success of women and their capabilities, it shouldn't be seen as a threat, but it's an asset. Because of our women thrive and the value we bring to companies, it can create a lot more opportunities for everybody. Finally, I would just leave you with a few words, some of the points I hope I can give you reassurance. Confidence has always been my guiding light throughout my journey. Despite encouraging numerous challenges and barriers, I never considered giving up. I refused to be deterred in a male-dominated industry. My competitive nature drove me to prove that I could excel just as well as my male counterparts. Achieving these required me to put in extra effort and make significant sacrifices, including the time with my son. For many young women today, I'm grateful to see the society has evolved, allowing them to pursue their ambition and dreams. My advice is not to believe what people say, but believe in yourself. And instead, and taking into account your own desires and interests. It doesn't have to be the world's best fund manager or a full-time mother. The choice is yours. And it is important to choose the path that resonates more with you. Thank you very much.